worked in dance for most of my adult life and have worn a number of different hats throughout that time. I've also worked in sort of all four time zones of the continental U.S., which is a fun fact. Grew up in the Rockies in Colorado, and then my professional dancing career brought me to Seattle, Washington, to Pacific Northwest Ballet, to the East Coast, where I was with North Carolina Dance Theater in Charlotte. Then brought me to Chicago, where I joined Hubbard Street Dance Chicago and danced for a few years. And then I moved to Montreal, Canada, and I was a member of Ballet Jazz de Montreal, or Beijing Dance. Then I returned to Chicago and sort of started a multi-year transition from sort of full-time company member, full-time ensemble member, to freelance artist, sort of getting more actively involved in the creative process, working with choreographers who were asking me to generate a lot of choreographic material, contribute written text, did more speaking on stage, just singing on stage, and generally just moved into projects that were much more improvisatory and sort of collectively devised. I then spent some time teaching and choreographing. I was a technique coach and also a technique teacher for various schools in the Chicago area, and also led sort of daily warm-ups for the artists of multiple dance companies based in Chicago. Around that time is also when I started writing about dance, and I started out with a blog called trailerpilot.com, and I was just sort of going to performances in and around the Chicago area and talking with local artists and interviewing them about their work. That led me to positions with Flavor Pill, Windy City Times, and starting in 2009, I was the dance editor at Time Out Chicago magazine, which was a wonderful opportunity, through which I was charged with basically comprehensively covering dance and performance art in the Chicago area every single week. I had a few pages in each issue, and I could pretty much cover dance as I saw fit. So that just opened a whole lot of doors and occasioned me to write more than 1,000 articles in just 3 short years that I was at the magazine. I went to Hubbard Street Dance Chicago. I went back to the company, but as a staff member to run communications and later marketing for the company for about 4 years. And then as of January of this year, I have been working as Communications and Engagement Director at Arts Alliance Illinois, which is a standalone nonprofit organization. We're 35 years old, and we advocate for cultural equity and arts access, arts education for all Illinois students, and statewide civic engagement around issues that are relevant to arts and culture. So it's just been a real pleasure to kind of pivot into not just dance, but more broadly just general arts and culture, and to be working on kind of building public will for arts and culture across the state of Illinois. I think that dance is in a really, really exciting period in the country right now. You still have regional specificity, you still have certain things and certain sort of inquiries happening at the local level in various communities around the country. And you also sort of see these broader themes and these broader trends emerging. The intersection between dance and technology has been something that's been really interesting to watch. That was something that was just beginning when I was beginning my dance career in the late 1980s. And now the number of artists who are working with digital technologies, who are leveraging various kinds of video, 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional online spaces, virtual spaces, and figuring out what movement looks like and how dance can be shared, not just in a sort of a traditional theater environment, but in ways that are much more interactive and customizable to the audience member's experience. I think that dance can be a really challenging industry to be part of, and it's something that really tests your resolve. It's very difficult. It's not necessarily financially lucrative to be involved in, but what it sort of provides to you in terms of sense of self, resilience, the degree of sort of creative expression and personal expression that it unlocks, that learning a dance technique or kind of committing yourself to a dance career facilitates, is really kind of irreplaceable. So I guess if I had any advice for people entering the industry or considering a career in dance, I would say the most important thing is to remain open and to not be afraid of challenges that come your way. You'll always be tested when you're learning new steps or trying out new kinds of movement. They'll always feel unfamiliar, they'll always feel challenging to you, but it's really, really important to just kind of throw yourself wholeheartedly into it, and you will get out at least as much as you put in. The returns on investment in a career in dance are just enormous, and it's a pretty safe bet. So.